All right, welcome back, guys. This is another video of It Reflects. My name is Kyle,
And I'm Sam.
and today we are reviewing Exhibiting Forgiveness. And this movie is, there's always a movie every year that when you least expect it, it's gonna shock you and really, make you think about it. And these are one of those gems, and this is one of those diamonds in the roughs that I'm gonna look back from in this year, and I'm really gonna, treasure. But so yeah.
Yeah. Last year was Past Lives and American Fiction,
Yes, for sure.
and this one was definitely probably top five of the year, to be honest. But yeah, let's get straight to it. I think this is one of those films that the Black community can relate to in every aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of there's parts of the story that anybody can somewhat relate to. Not just the trauma, not just the bad, but the good also. You know what it's like being raised in a Black household, and story is told beautifully. To be honest, beautiful story. It's a story about a
Story about fatherhood, family dynamics, family curses, traditions,
yeah
generational curses.
and then breaking those general curses. It's
you-
a lot.
your,
There's a lot to unpack, honestly.
your past and your past is like defining how you live now and how the way you react and how you deal with certain people and situations and how you look at life is based on like really like the way you're brought up. And this film is very special, man. It's something that I think I would say for me, Black men really need to take a look at this because of the power and the power of the Black man has on his family and the influence for generations. Like you don't realize how much of an influence you are to your children, how much of influence you are, even whether that's a good influence or bad. Like they're gonna carry that with them, and they're gonna take that to their kids as well. So like, do you want to get onto like what the story?
Yeah. The story starts off. The father. I don't remember these characters' names.
It was Terrell.
Terrell.
Yes. And then I forgot the dad's name. Laurent.
Yes. Terrell and Laurent. So it starts off with Terrell and his family. His wife is also an artist. So Terrell is a painter, and his wife is a musician. He has a 5-year-old boy,
like 4-year-old,
5-year-old boy that he's raising, and they are from very successful. Honestly, from what we've seen, they're very successful in their profession. Him as an artist, he just came from a division of showing his art, and people love it. Probably really hot coming off, one of the upcoming painters and he's doing well. And the story goes, him wanting to get his mother out of where his mother has been living alone for a while. So you know what? We should come live with us, live closer to us, for anything was to happen, we can take care of you, things like that. Him going back to his old house, old neighborhood, old home. A lot of memories come crashing back from his childhood, from the way he was raised, and a lot of trauma comes with those memories, and of how he was raised by his father.
Yeah, which is where Laurent comes in.
Right.
Laurent is the father of Terrell, the main character Terrell, and Laurent, he basically was on crack, and that affected their whole family dynamic.
Yeah.
It made him be abusive. It made him not be in his child's life. Like he basically ghosted their family for 15 years. And where we find Laurent is where he's homeless, and then he gets beat up and stuff, and then he gets taken in by somebody of faith and religion. Then he starts.
First, before he gets taken in, he goes to his brother's house. Now, from Laurent's character, we see how not just his family, but we see how he affected a lot of people around him, such as his brother, his brother, his wife, and his kids. So his brother comes and takes him in. You can see the hurt, the pain in the brother's eyes. He feels very, what would you say, like very saddened that this is what his brother has come out to. And his brother's wife, Laurent's brother's wife, comes into the house, seeing somebody laying on the couch, like, who's that? Like, who's laying on my couch? And she walks in, she's literally about to hit him, like, get out of his house, because
he's been stealing. Every time they brought him in, he stole from them.
Stole for to do what?
To get more drugs.
Right? Yeah. And so we kind of seen how how in the 80s, how this drug had a hold on the Black community. It affected the Black community. It has damaged, destroyed homes. A lot of people died from this. And I remember you saying last night that this is still affecting
families
till today. And I think this story kind of demonstrates that very well.
Yeah. So like basically Laurent, he gets taken in by this religious person, and he has a promise to this person that he's gonna go to church like at least twice a week, and he's gonna go to Bible study, and then he's gonna give himself to God, which he does. And so like once he finds God, he goes back to his old wife and his family's home, and he wants to like rekindle their relationship. Mind you, this has been 15 years,
Right.
Like that he has not talked to them or seen them, and he's known for being a crackhead, but now he's clean. Right. So Terrell, the main character, he goes home and tries to pack up, his mom's house, so she's getting ready to leave, and then his dad Laurent shows up at the house, and it's kind of like a it was a lot of emotions for Terrell. He's angry, he's upset, he's confused.
Yeah, to why he's here.
Yeah.
He's been gone for years.
Because he associates his dad with all of the trauma
Right.
that he's been grown up with, and and he's still. And we see Terrell, like, he can't even sleep at night, and he gets woken up by like that trauma
of his past,
of the abuse.
Yeah,
stuff.
And it's even affecting his own family. Scaring his kid at night.
His wife and his kid.
Wife. He gets woken up. He gets very aggressive by those things, and also too, like, we see how Black men, when we have those things that are going on, we don't go see a specialist to get those things, to see what's going on. I remember his wife saying, go see someone to get this resolved. And he said, yeah, I will, but he never does. I feel like that's another topic too that this thing's focused on, that we have those mental health issues that people say, look, man, it's best if we go see somebody about it. Say, yeah, we'll do it, but we never do, until it's too late, until we either end up dead or somewhere worse. What I mean? And that was just really well written in this film, and like I said, I feel like this movie alone is just talking about the Black experience, and honestly, probably one of my favorite Black films that we've seen in a minute. Besides Moonlight.
Well,
Moonlight was
honestly, like I know we say Black films, but like I kind of see that as derogatory. I think it's one of the best films I've seen in a minute.
Fair,
touching films for me.
yeah.
Like I think I felt this film on a personal level, based on the fact of us not realizing that like our parents carry that trauma with them, and that's how they raise us, and then we carry that trauma with us,
Right.
and then that's the way we're gonna like parent our own kids. And so like when I seen many of the scenes, it reminded me of like my grandfather and my dad and myself, obviously, because like I went through some of those moments where sometimes they teach us how to be strong in different ways, and they teach us how to be a man in different ways, and they teach us how the world views us, how the world views Black people, Black men. And this is very touching because all the conversations that were had in this movie were just hit home for me.
It was just hit home. And also too, while you're watching the film, you ask yourself a lot of questions too, because I found myself asking myself a lot of questions, especially with how you said how they were raised, and and how our grandparents were raised, and then they're raised our father. Our father has to raise us the same way, and also too in my head I'm like, but
how it changed? I feel like it changes, from generation to generation. Like
but how it changes because we have to force ourselves to make that change. We have to break that curse. We have to break that line, and says no, you can't do this. You can't keep doing this. It's left to us to make that change. And that was a question I was asking myself. Why is it that? Why is it left to us to do it? You know what I mean? Like why didn't they cut that line? You know what I mean? Cut that. Like how come they didn't see that? You know what? This is toxic. Let's not. You know what I mean? Let's not.
But it's also
bring this to our children.
It's also why this movie is so well done, because a lot of times the way parents parent, they don't see their faults in themselves, and it's because that's all they know.
Right.
The given circumstances that they've been given up with. Time changes, like society changes.
Yeah.
Like in their mindset, they're still, how it was when they were a child, and that's the way they're like putting it into us.
Yeah.
So like a lot of that stuff that they like how they parent is like I don't place blame on my parents at all, like because obviously like we shouldn't be giving that trauma to our own kids, but at the same time it's like when that trauma is all it's kind of like it's bound to happen, which is what the generational curses and generational trauma is like is why it's such a big theme in this movie.
Yeah.
And family dynamics is such a big theme in this movie of how
Very. Yeah, and like you said, when it comes to family dynamics, like when it comes to, I remember one of the scenes where after he has his own exhibition and things like that, and his wife is like, I want to start doing some things for me, you know what I mean? And I feel like when it comes to that, like a marriage is not, it's a team, you know what I mean? It's a team, together that builds and grows together. You have to provide together for yourself, your husband, and your child, And after he's done, you know what I mean? Like they understand each other's profession to give, like, okay, it's your turn now. And she's a musician, you know what I mean? She has to be in the studio, she has to record and things like that. And that was something that I see that they've come to understand with each other. They don't necessarily like fault each other for oh, you get to do this, you get to do that, but I don't get to do this, I don't get to, you know what I mean? That's what I feel like that was something that I liked in this film. I didn't see a lot of arguments between them two. And with a lot of films like this, we see a lot of arguments between
black family.
Exactly. And I didn't see that. I saw how they're trying to make things work with each other.
And I saw how they express themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing was art in this movie is like how we express our pain and trauma and
through art. Yeah,
a lot of in the Black community is through art. You know, whether that's through music, or painting, or writing, you know, poems and stuff, and you know, so it's like I think art in a way is like, you know, is used as kind of like that therapeutic thing in the Black community, I would say. But yeah. But I think we should get into like the main overall theme was like forgiveness, like, and how that you know affected, you know, the story.
That was a big big part. So I feel like we should start off with how they use religion to forgive, and then how it ended. So in the Black community, religion is a big thing for us. Sometimes it's abused, in a way where that, you know, without religion, you know, not you this or that, you know what I mean?
But not even that. It's just like they use people have used religion as a way to take advantage of other people. I would say when they say like oh yeah, you're supposed to forgive every person you come across, which is true, but at the same time, like not every person is gonna forgive the same way. And I think this is a tough conversation because
it really is.
Because in this movie, his mom was basically begging him to forgive his father for what father put them through.
Yeah.
But like he couldn't get past that because he's been carrying that his whole life, and then he's supposed to let all that go all at once. It was hard. It's hard for him.
Yeah, and it's a good chunk of his life. It's the most important part of his life. You know, as a child,
developmental years.
Exactly. You're growing. You're new to this world. You're experiencing certain things, and this is what life gives you. You know, you kind of see things differently. You handle things differently. And he kind of, I think he's like that conversation with him in the basement. You can see the anger, the frustration in his face, to the reason to why, you know, he did what he did. Because I remember when he said, you know, how he came across the drug. He was like, what did he say? He said, I just wanted to try it. And then when he just tried it once,
he was hooked.
And he was hooked for life. For literally, I would say, how old is he when he cleaned up himself? He's at least like 60.
Right, yeah, 60.
In his 60s. Like,
yeah, but he looks worn down.
Right.
But like, I guess like going back to like the forgiving stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this. Like, religion is, you know, I'm a very religious person as well.
Yeah.
So like, but I do realize that religion can be abused with people, and people use religion as a excuse to treat people a certain way. You know, and that's the type of stuff that like was brought up in this movie, is that like she said the mom was able to forgive him because of her faith with God and her believing in God, and you know, her saying that she can't be forgiven if she doesn't forgive others, you know. So like I think that was a huge thing. But like him, Terrell, someone that does not as religious as his parents are, it's hard for him to like, you know, take that seriously, or like, you know, take that to heart, because like that pain is still very strong.
Yeah,
you know,
it still lingers in him. So it kind of brings the question of like, why do you think the mother was able to forgive? Because like, okay, like, yeah, I see that she's using like religion, but like,
I think it was deeper than that too, though. Yeah, I think for sure that like I think she chose to see the good, to be honest, because it's so easy to remember the bad. But like, she did give him, I mean, he did give her a son. He did raise him, even though it wasn't, you know, the right way. You know, he was there. But I think she ultimately feels like that, like she sees the human side of him, and she sees that he's trying. And I think she sees that he's clean, and she sees that those prayers that she prayed for him getting clean finally came true, or finally came to. And I think that's why she was able to forgive him, because she's been praying for him, and she's finally seen her prayers answered, which is what I think a big thing as well.
Yeah. So continuing with Terrell, the mother at some point they had a after that argument about forgiveness and things like that. He leaves and goes to his house, and they come to find out a couple minutes later she ends up in the hospital. She's having a very bad high blood pressure.
She had a stroke.
Yeah. She had a stroke. She ends up in the hospital. She didn't tell Tora what's been going on with her health. This brings back,
we hide stuff in the black community.
Yeah. And Terrell kind of finally finds out what's been going on, and kind of shows the reasons why she didn't want to move, because her time was coming up. She just didn't want to put that on her son. So the mother passed away, because I feel like that was the anchor. At least I feel like that was kind of the pillar that was holding the son and the father, at least trying to bring them together. But now that she's gone, now there's no that pull to bring them together. So now it's kind of left to the son to really
left to both of them.
Yeah, it's left to the both of them to make this work, or at least
try,
or at least try to make this work.
To the last scene.
Yeah, so basically all of that kind of brings us to the last scene of him having his last exhibition. He has a portrait of his mother. He's very hurt during this moment. He's very saddened by our mother passing. I actually kind of like this scene. Actually, we see how other people,
misinterpret
take
art, his pain for granted.
Right. Yes. And I didn't quite get that scene until I woke up this morning, actually, and I was like, that's what that scene means. Okay.
Because as a imagine as a painter, as an artist in general,
right?
You pour out yourself into this, product, and then it's being used as a
trophy or something of.
It's being taken lightly.
Yeah.
It's not what it's meant to be. Seen as. Or
right.
So I think I love that scene, because it's tough, because you have something that he took a lot of time in, and a lot of emotion in, and then you just have it on your bedroom, and then it's just that's what it comes to. And
because they saw it as, oh,
it's good art,
it's good art. I'm paying for it, but you don't know the story behind it. You don't know the hurt behind it, and I think that scene was that was beautiful, and that also too that kind of even sent him to the edge, making a scene in the exhibition and going back. Father showing up, seeing the exhibition, and them having a conversation. What do you?
They finally have a conversation, and he's just telling him that he's changed and stuff. He's been trying to tell him that this whole time, and I think Terrell
really finds it hard to believe, in a way.
Yeah, but I think with the death of his mom, it kind of not forced him, but like it kind of made him look at the situation, I guess, for her,
Yeah.
and look at like, okay, I should forgive him,
Yeah.
or I have to move on,
Yeah.
for my family's sake,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he ends up forgiving his dad, but his dad,
That scene is very important, honestly, because when you forgive someone, they expect everything to just go back to what it was.
expect everything to be erased.
Exactly, everything to be erased, all that kind of stuff. But he sets boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
He sets boundaries and saying, "Look, hold on. Yes,
I forgive you for myself,
right,
and for my family,
right.
But I'm gonna have to set boundaries. Like, I don't want you to come around my own family, so because that trauma's still there.
Right,
that trauma's still there. The
Mhm.
trauma doesn't leave. I feel like,
Right. I mean, it's 15 years of,
you know,
you know what I mean?
but like, it's just, and I guess forgiveness is like, I guess people see forgiveness as different things as well. I think that's what I was thinking about too. Is that like him forgiving him, he could totally be able to forgive him, but then like he could still have some type of like, he could still feel some type of way about it. He could still feel like I should not bring this man to my family.
Right.
Yeah,
because you don't know like the type of the triggers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that can bring with this, and that was the question too. Like you can forgive, but do you really forget? You know what I mean? That was really I feel like that scene was what I feel like that's what I got from that scene. Yes, you can forgive. Everyone should and can forgive, but you can't forget. You can't forget what somebody did to you. You know, and I think that scene, that quote, you can have the past, but the future is mine. That scene, that was tough. That was probably like one of the best scenes out of the whole thing. That quote hits for sure.
Because as a father, as a parent, you're in control of your own family,
right?
And he didn't basically, the kid didn't have a choice at all in what he was doing and how he was being raised. Like he's just trying to be a good son to his parents. But like, what was I trying to say? I forgot what I was trying to say.
I think.
He's taking back that control, and he's now a man now. So like he has.
Right, he's his own man.
He has to live his life the way he wants it to live, basically the way his dad did. He has to make decisions. We have to make decisions as people, and those decisions affect not only yourself, but they affect other people.
Yeah. Because when you have your own family, you have to make your own decision, your own future. Like that's what the story is saying. Yes, we do go through these traumas, these horrific stories in our lives, and especially in the black community. But at the end of the day, we have that power to take control because the future is ours.
And
they can have the past, right?
Yeah.
We have to take hold of our own future,
and we can't live our life based on the past. Because like we're like you said, we're in control of what we do now. And what he does have control is of how he treats his wife. What he does have control of is how he parents his child.
Right.
And I think that's like a strong message that us as black people need to like have, because like we love to make excuses. It's like, well, I'm doing this because my daddy did this, or I'm doing this because I was brought up this way. And like it's like when you have you that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help like you or your family. So like this generational trauma curses, we have the power to break them, but it's like us realizing that and us stop blaming our past for our future.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, let's get to the ratings. Cinematography was beautiful.
Oh yes, all right. But everything else, we forgot about cinematography.
The soundtrack was beautiful.
Pacing was amazing.
Yes, pacing was great.
Soundtrack was beautiful. Yeah,
yes. I like the smooth jazz, smooth, music behind it. It was beautiful. Honestly, beautiful.
I think the director did a great job of letting the art uh live in the film.
Yes.
Like let the art tell the story. And I think it was, you don't have to like, not art doesn't have to be said. It can just be felt. And that's kind of how I felt through this movie. Is that like, I know this movie's not perfect to me, but I think it achieves what it was set out to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's what art is. You know, it's like, what emotion does it bring to you? Like, art can be different to you, and the movie could have been different to me, and it could like bring up questions that I don't have that you think about.
Exactly.
And that's what art's supposed to do.
And that was the thing I was thinking about, because like, everybody can
take
something from this differently. You know, I never had a family who had dealt with any drugs, but you may have, and you may have seen that. I have not seen that, and I don't know what that experience is like. But you may, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the thing. Like, everybody can relate to this film in a certain way, in every, you know what I mean? And I think that's what's great about this film. You know, you can relate to this in every way that you can, in any situation, really.
Right.
Oh
yeah, my ratings.
Yeah. I feel like you were saying last night the only bad thing you can say about this is that
I wish I got more dialogue between some characters. I feel like there are definitely some scenes that I wanted to see. You know, between like maybe more scenes with the dad, the Terrell and his son. I would love to see more of that, and even like the grandfather, and the mom. I would like to see more scenes of that.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I feel like that would have been an interesting conversation for them to kind of have, to kind of see his perspective, but also see his son perspective. And yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like those are two things I wanted to see. Between a scene between the wife and the grandfather, and Terrell and his own son. Like, those are the two that I wanted to see.
Or even like the mom and the grandma. I mean, the mom and the mom, but like both of them, the wife and the mom. I can't even.
Yeah, the wife.
Like, I would love to see how they deal with the conversation of them, how to deal with men with trauma. And that would I think that would have been a good, from a woman's perspective as well. I think that would have been a good scene.
That would definitely would.
But other than that, I love this movie, man. It's definitely in my top movies of the year. Biggest surprise of the year? I don't know. Probably my biggest surprise of the year.
Honestly, I didn't even really think about this film. I was just like scrolling on Letterboxd and I saw it. I was like, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
Watched like 20 seconds of the video. I was like, you know what? I'll go see it. Yeah. I said it to him. I was like, Kyle, we have an opportunity here to see Kyle.
So I didn't want to go.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, we want to miss this out. Let's just go see it. We walked out. We was like, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but like for my rating, I give it a 4.5.
4.5. Wow.
Okay. I think for me, why I give it a 4.5, because this movie hits home for me, and this movie makes me look at my family dynamics, makes me look at my skin color, makes me look at my role as a man, and makes me ask questions that I think I'm gonna have to watch this movie like multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, just to like remind myself of the role that I have as a father, that I'm going to have as a father. You know, because I'm not a father yet, but it's important, man. It's important. And this movie's not perfect. I do see some flaws in this movie as I slept on it that I wish they could have done. And some things were a little not as well thought out, I would say. But the things that it hit home really hit for me. I think this might be a tearjerker, so you might have some tissues.
Yo.
I have some tissues.
Man, there are scenes I was. Oh man. But why is it not a higher rating for you? Besides in the little flaws and things like that, why is it not?
Just because I wished I would have seen 30 more minutes, I would say, and those scenes that I would have wished were put in there.
Yeah.
I think if I would have got like maybe like even 2 of those scenes, it would be at a 5. But yeah, this movie achieves what it's supposed to.
I agree. For my rating, I can agree with certain, seeing a little bit more character dynamic between certain characters. but I think this film sets out what it needs. It tells a story what it needs to tell. It gives you a lot from each generation, older generation, the younger generation, and so on. And I love how they use art within art. That's what I mean, to tell,
imitate art.
Exactly.
Life imitates art.
Yes. Life imitate art. And honestly, it was beautiful, and I think it's a great. Do I see little flaws? Yes, but is it little enough for me not to give it 5 out of 5?
Okay, 5 out of 5.
Yes.
Okay,
it's a 5 out of 5 for me. 5 out of 5. Because it talks a lot. It there's a lot.
Yeah, I basically think we need more movies like this.
We do
for the Black community.
Yes, we do. We really do.
These movies that have tough conversations, but also we didn't even talk about the joy between him and his own son that he had in the film.
Yeah.
Like those scenes were really positive. Like I think more people need to see fatherhood as positive as well.
Right. Exactly. And also too that and that's another thing too. I like how they the family dynamic between the two. You didn't see a divorced father, divorce, all that kind of stuff, because that's what is known in our community.
That we don't commit.
Exactly. Basically. That we don't commit. That we don't have families. That we can't raise our sons or daughters, things like that. And this film did not. That's not what this film was about. This film was about, fighting through the pain, and fighting for your future.
Yeah, acknowledging the pain.
Exactly, acknowledging the pain.
Forgiving your past.
Yep.
But also being able to move forward in a positive way.
Yes.
In which you can instill morals. You can instill, still that tough mindset, but you can do it. You can do things in a different way.
Right. You can do better than what past. Your father, your mother. You can do better for yourself. And yeah, I just think this film is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful film.
Yeah.
That's reasons why it's a 5 out of 5 for me. And this is a film I would watch again. I would watch it again. I watch it more than twice, to be honest. Because I feel like the more you watch it, the more you can get.
I'm actually excited to watch it again.
Yeah.
Like the next time I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna be excited to watch it again.
Yeah.
So.
And I also think too, you should watch it with your family.
Watch it, your parents.
With your parents.
Your brothers, sisters.
Yeah, your brothers and sisters, because they can all somewhat see something from this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think everybody can enjoy it. I recommend the Black community go see this film. I think everybody would enjoy it. So.
But yeah, that's our video. Thank you for watching. This is definitely one of my favorite movies for the year, and I'm sad that that it had to end.
Yeah.
But
it's
but
one of those people where you go see something, you're like, oh my god, this is the best thing, and you're like, oh,
you just want more. You just want more. You always as a movie watcher, I always chase that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, how can I get that?
Yeah.
Kind of like people are drugs.
That high. This is one of those highs where you like.
Yeah. You leave the movie theater, happy, excited, but also deep in thought, and having conversations.
And that's why we go to the movies.
Yeah, that's why I go to the movies.
We go to the movies for those conversations after you finish watching the film. Those uncomfortable conversations to have with yourself, with your friends, with your family. Yeah, man, this is. Honestly,
definitely a highlight. But,
yeah, for sure.
But thank you for watching. This is Real Flex. I hope you guys see you in another video. This is the Sam and Kyle, the second edition of Sam and Kyle.
Hey, there's more to come.
So far this series has been good. For
real.
We're not going to mention Megalopolis, but this is a good this is a good movie. Make sure you go watch it. Please go watch it. I won't stress this enough. I don't stress a lot of movies, but this one, please go watch it.
Definitely go watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that being said, you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you.